Hi friends, welcome. Today I'm just going to lead you through a free flow, which means I have no plan of what this is going to be, what it's going to look like. I'm just going to kind of flow through and I'll cue you as we move. Blocks and strap are always good to have close by in case we decide to use them, and water. So go ahead and unroll your mat, and when you're ready, join me in child's pose. You can either have knees together to stretch out your low back, or you can take knees a little bit wider to stretch out through the hips. I'm going to take knees wide and just crawl my fingertips forward, resting your forehead on the ground, and just start to connect with your breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Go ahead and tent those fingertips, and you can kind of wiggle through those shoulders. Maybe give a little bounce, kind of opening through those shoulders. And then from here, we're going to walk off to the side, placing your hands, palms down on the ground, stretching through that left side body. Making sure you're breathing. Come back to center, and then walk your hands over to the other side, taking that right hand on top of the left hand. Exhaling. Feeling a nice stretch through that right shoulder and side body. And come back to center. Bring your knees together and come up onto tabletop position. In your tabletop, we're going to take our right hand forward, left leg back. So you are in a bird dog pose, engaging through your core, spidering through those fingers, and bring your elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, bring them together. And then you're going to keep your hand and leg out. Bring that leg out to the side, and then push back into that child's pose again with that leg straight. So you're going to feel a stretch through that inner thigh. You can bring the toes forward, or you can bring it back a little further wherever you feel like you need that stretch. And then you can crawl that right hand forward a bit still, stretching through that right side body. And then come back up, plug that leg back in. Now we're going to extend our left arm out in front, right leg back. On the exhale, bring your knee and elbow together. Extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Making sure you have light engagement in that core. Extend again, and bring that leg out to the side. And sit back into that child's pose. Breathing into it. Feeling a nice stretch through that inner thigh and that left shoulder and side. Come back up into that tabletop, bring that leg back in. Then we're going to untuck our toes, push up into a down dog. So you might need to readjust your hands, readjust your feet. This is my first down dog of the day, so go ahead and pedal out your down dog. Maybe do some slight twists, pushing through the side body, pushing through your feet, pushing your hips up to the sky, really pushing down through those hands. And when you're ready, settle into your down dog, looking towards your knees. Root down through your left foot, bring your right leg up to the sky. And we're going to go into a wild thing. So go ahead and bend that knee, tent up onto those fingertips, and you're going to drop that leg back. You can come to a seat here. So you're in this, lungy. And then push up through that left leg, feeling a nice side stretch in this wild thing pose. Spy the mat, Lift that right leg and bring it up to the outside edge of that mat, coming into a high lizard low lunge pose. This is a good spot where you can get some blocks, so you can come up a little bit higher if you need to, or if you'd like, you can drop down onto your forearms, getting deeper into that lizard. Feel free to take some rocks and some wiggles here, working into that hip. Good. From here, you're gonna plant your left hand down, lift your right hand up to the sky, so you're in this twist. And then if you'd like, you can take it into this horizon lunge. So you're blading, going onto the blade side edge of your foot, splaying your knee out and doing kind of a side plank. And you can dip the hip down, or you can stay up. Hang out here, you're gonna get a nice stretch in that inner thigh, and that hamstring and glute. Come back into that lizard pose. Push through your hands, try and lift your leg, come into that plank, and we're gonna vinyasa through lower down chaturanga, up dog or cobra. Push back into down dog. Settling here in your down dog, we're gonna take it on the other side. So root down through your right foot, lift your left leg, bend your knee, and we're gonna go into that wild thing again. So rooting down through that right foot, that right hand, lift lightly onto the fingertips, and then come down. You can stay in this wild thing like this, or if you want to reposition, drop your hip down and then push back up. Really opening through your chest, pushing the ground away. When you're ready, spy the mat, lift that back foot, and as slowly and as much control as you can, bring your foot to the top of your mat, into that lizard pose, holding up high, getting your blocks, or coming down onto your forearms. Again, feel free to take some rocks, some wiggles. Maybe this hip is a little tighter. Find those sticking points and breathe into it. Tell your body it's okay. From here, we're gonna come back up. You're gonna plant through that right hand now and lift up through your left arm. So you're in this low lunge twist. And then you're going to drop down to the blade sides of your feet, coming into that horizon lunge, reaching towards that back foot, lifting up, lift your hips up, drop your hips down. One more time. Hold that low lunge just for a second. And come back into that lizard pose. Push the ground through your hands to the ground. Lift your foot, come back into a down dog. From here, you can hop, step, or walk your feet up to the tops of your mat into a forward fold. Halfway lift. And then you're going to keep your toes together, slight space between your heels, and you're just going to drop your bum down into a chair pose. You can keep your hands down, you can bring them to heart center. If you have good core engagement, you can lift your arms up overhead. This is harder. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to stand. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then you're gonna hop, step, jump back to chaturanga, whichever way you want to, up to cobra or up dog. And push back into a down dog. Root down through your left foot, lift your right leg high. Bring it up between your hands. Spiral your foot to about a 45-degree angle and stand up into a warrior 2 pose. Reaching your arms, energetically pushing everything away. making sure you can see your big toe so your knee's not caving in, pushing it out to the side. From here, we're going to take our hands behind our back. We're going to interlace our fingers and push our fingers down towards the ground, push the knuckles down without splaying out your chest or your ribs. Keep your ribs knit, open through your shoulders, and then bow forward, trying to bring your shoulder to your knee into this humble warrior pose. Breathing, keeping that front knee bent so your thigh is parallel to the ground. Keeping that back quad engaged. Then you're going to bring your hand to the inside of your foot. If you need, get a block here. And we're going to open towards the side. So we're in that same kind of pose we were before with the side twist. But instead we're open towards the side. From here, you're going to straighten that front leg. You can take a block, you can put your hand on your ankle, fingertips to the ground, whichever feels good. And then we're going to take our hands forward. That back foot is going to spin forward a little bit more, maybe step it in so you can shorten your stance. Stand up, woo! Balance. Stand up tall, square your hips forward, and you're going to hinge at your hips. Go to your point where you're going to feel that stretch. So engage that quad, hinge forward, and stop where it feels good for you. So this could be it right here. You could come down lower, or you could fully fold over your leg. Whatever feels good to you today, so you can feel that stretch. But don't round in your back, you wanna keep that hinge. And then once you're at your lowest point, then you can round over if you would like. But think chin to shin, so we're not collapsing. Good, then we're just gonna drop that back knee down. So we're in a half split here. And we're gonna bend our knee coming into a low lunge. And then we'll go back into that half split. You can bring your toes up, or you can bring them down. Point and flex the foot. Come back into that lunge. Back to the half split. I'm trying to keep my belly connected to my thigh. Getting a deeper stretch here. And come into that lunge one more time. From here, we're going to lift our arms up and really push down through that hip, trying to get that hip to go to the ground, keeping my hips pointed forward still. Good, place your hands down. Untuck the back toes. Come up into that down dog. Lower your foot, and now we're gonna do the other side. If I can remember what we did. Right down through your right foot, lift your left leg high, and bring it between your hands. That's right, we're spiraling into a warrior two pose. Standing nice and tall. Knee is not caving in. And then from here, we're gonna take our hands behind our back. So if you interlaced your fingers this way before, do the wonky side. So your other finger's on top. It's gonna feel kind of weird. Interlace your fingers, palms together, and then push your knuckles towards the ground, keeping your ribs knit together. And then fold, bringing your shoulder to your front knee. Don't let your butt come up, keep it down. Keep that knee bent in this humble warrior pose. Try to get those fingers pointing up towards the sky, really opening through those shoulders. And then go ahead and drop that hand down to the inside of the foot and open your arm up to the sky. Nice long wingspan. And when you're ready, straighten through that front leg. Using a block or fingertips, or if you want, you can still be flat. That is going to be a really big low back stretch though. And then from here, you're going to bring your hands down Bring that back foot in a little bit, spiral it to about 45 degrees this time. Come to a standing position, and then we're gonna hinge forward. So remember, find your edge, find where you want to be. Maybe have your blocks right here, and this is as far as you wanna go. And hold here. If you want to come lower, remember to keep that quad engaged. You can protect your knees so you're not hyperextending. And when you find your edge, if you would like, you can fold over, but try and remember chin to shin. Breathing. Okay, drop that back knee down so we're in that half split again. So from this half split, we're gonna come into that low lunge. My left side is a lot tighter than my right side. Come back to that half split. You can flex and point the foot, whatever feels good in your body today. You could even maybe take your foot like a windshield wiper side to side. Come back into that lunge. Half split again. This is our last one. And then come back into that low lunge. Okay, from here you're going to plant your hands down, untuck your foot, bring it back into that downward facing dog. From here you can step, hop, jump to the top of your mat, land your feet on the outside of your hands so you're in this low squat, Malasana yogi squat. You can take your elbows to your inner thighs, your knees, and help push them out, getting a bit of a deeper stretch. If yogi squat is not accessible to you, you can put blocks underneath or something, or be up on toes, or come up a little higher. Holding the squat for just a moment. And then stand halfway, forward fold, and then come all the way up to stand. From here, I'm gonna face you. We're gonna take a wide straddle, standing straddle. And from here, I'm going to then drop down into my right leg. So I'm in same kind of stance I was before with the yogi squat, but one leg is extended. So again, you need to place something underneath your heel, place your hands down to support you. This is a Skandasana pose. Don't know what else it's called. I know it's some kind of squat. Holding here, and then we're gonna go over to the other side. So you can keep your hands down so you have point of contact to help with balance, or you can try and go without your hands. Holding here, stretching into this pose. Try and keep your toes down. If you want to bring them up, you can. It gets you a different stretch. So whatever feels good for you. And then we're gonna go back to the front of the mat, holding there. This time I am gonna raise my toes, get a slightly different stretch here. And I'm still using my arm to kind of push my leg out to the side so I get a deeper stretch. And then we'll go one more time to the back. I'm gonna lift my toes there. And again, I'm gonna push my arm into my thigh there. Good. I'm gonna go back up to the top of the mat, and I'm gonna drop my bum down onto the ground. Then go ahead and drop your knee down. If this is too much, you can bring your foot to the inside of your inner thigh. Sometimes this is too much for knee pain. Depends on the day for me. And we're gonna take a forward fold. So you can stay right here if this feels good, or if you would like, raise your arms up and fold forward. Remember, chin to shin, so you wanted to keep your chest high. And once you find your edge, you can relax into it. You can round over, drop your head down. Come back up. If you can, come back into that Skandasana, and then take it to the back of the mat. So then we're going to extend our front leg and drop that shin down onto the ground. Again, you can bring your foot to the inside, to your inner thigh if that feels better. Arms up overhead, you can stay here or fold forward. Good, come back up to sit. Bring both feet forward. Sitting up nice and tall in staff pose. Roll your shoulders back. Bring your hands down to the ground. You can also bring your hands to blocks to bring the ground closer to you. I could not always reach the ground when sitting in this pose. And engage your quads, flex your toes, try and bring your toes to your body. Push your hands down into the ground. So every muscle in your body is on fire right now. It doesn't look like it, but it feels like it. And release. Bend your right foot or your right knee and bring your foot to the outside of your leg. And then we're going to hug our knee and twist towards the back. Inhale, exhale into the twist. See if you can go a little bit further. Inhale, twist and see if you can go a little further. Hugging that knee into your chest. And then come back to center. Switch legs. So left foot comes to the outside of your right leg. Hug your knee and inhale. Sit up tall, exhale, twist. Inhale, see if you can twist a little bit further on that exhale. Hugging that knee into the chest. One more time. Good, bring your knees out in front. Go ahead and come to the center of your mat and slowly lower down onto your back. We're gonna thread the needle, so cross your right ankle over your left knee. You can stay right here if this feels good, or you can grab behind your thigh, around your knee, whatever feels good. Make sure that this foot that is crossed over is staying flexed to protect your knee. You can use your elbow to push that thigh away and get a slightly deeper stretch. Breathing. On your next exhale, we're going to drop our foot down to the ground. So now we're getting a low back stretch and hip stretch as well. Try and keep your shoulders flat on the mat. So you don't want to roll over to your side. You want to keep your shoulders down. Extending your arm out long will help. And if you hold onto your ankle, that sometimes helps you be able to get a little bit more leverage, and you can wiggle here and find where you need that stretch. Breathe into it. Come back to center and switch legs. So cross your left ankle over your right knee. Either stay here, you can use your hand to push away, or bring it into your chest. Grab behind your thigh, around your knee. Maybe use your elbow as some leverage to get deeper into that hip. Keeping that foot flexed though. And when you're ready, drop that foot over to the ground, keeping your shoulders on the mat, so it's a twist of the lower body. Maybe finding some wiggle room in that lifted knee. Come back to center. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice big hug. And we're gonna go into a cobbler's pose or butterfly pose. So feet, soles of your feet touch, grab the outsides of them, and then push your knees away, using your arm strength to push your feet, to pull your feet towards your body, and you're trying to push your knees away. Then into a happy baby, taking the outside or the inside of your feet. Trying to bring your knees towards your armpits, pulling your feet towards your chest. We're also trying to push your feet so that you can kind of stomp on the ceiling. Imagine stomping on the ceiling. Maybe rock side to side. Massaging your low back a little bit. Go ahead and drop your feet down. And then extend your feet out long, arms to your side, maybe bring your shoulder blades under a little bit more, puffing out through your chest. And Shavasana. You can stay here as long as you like, or if you would like, you can bend your knees in, roll over to your side, push yourself up to seat, come up to comfortable seat. Thank you for practicing with me. That was a free flow. I hope you feel good in your body. This is a great stretch for just after a workout or just kind of get moving a little bit. So have a wonderful day.